Routes and routing in web application will usually present a big role for that application. And as we are using Angular as a technology here, Angular has its own module that we can use for our routes. So in this video we will utilize on that module. We will use it to create our own routes, and not just that, we won't create just simple routes. We will set up our lazy loading for our routes, which is much more optimized, and it will make our application work a bit smarter and faster. To create routes, we will need to do that for our summary, live and country modules. First of all, let's start with summary module and open up summary routing module. Here already we can see this const that is declared. Well, it was by default with that tool that we used, which is Angular CLI. Here we have our routes already in use that are coming from @Angular/router. I already mentioned that Angular has its own router and router module. What you can see here is this router module will be used for child routes, which presents that all routes in this module for our summary page and all of the child pages, if we would have any, will serve us as a child routes for our application, so those will be kind of lazy loaded. To create routes here, go into this array, and here we can create as many routes as we wish. To create a route, use an object, and the route itself should hold a path, which presents the path to a route. So for example, here if I wish this route to go to a summary page, I can use summary text, which means that I will be able to visit my localhost 4200/summary and see this particular route. But as we plan to use a lazy loading here, well, here we won't pass any text for our path, because the path and the correct text for it will be passed in our global routes. Well, our main routes for our application. But next to this path, our application should also know when we visit this specific route, which component do we wish to render. For me, here you must pass component, and for me here, I will pass my summary page component, which is already imported here automatically at the top, and you already know that we generated this summary page component with Angular CLI, and this is pretty much it for our summary routing module. Now let's go into country module, open up the routing module for it, and create route for that here. My path here will be again empty, because the path will be handled in a different place, you will see that soon. And component here that I wish to render for this route will be country page component. That's it. And the last one is our live module. So open up live routing module, and here pass another array, well, another route into this array. Path once again will be just the empty string, but component here will be live page component, and that's pretty much it. We already have our child route set up. So where should we put our main routes? So I will close all of my modules here, and I will open up my app-routing-module. Here, well, that module, but here we do have our routes again, and here we will create our main route for our application. So I could put the object here, and my path for this object now won't be empty, but it will be summary. So when we visit this route, we will load our specific component, but now we won't use a component here, we will use a property called load children, because we need to load a children route here, which already has that component that we wish to load, well, that we wish to render. This load children is, well, a method that we can use, and this method can do something for us. In our use case here, we can import a specific module that we wish to use. So here I will use import and then pass a path to that module. So the path itself is .summary/summary.module. We need to use the main module, not routing module here. Once we import that, this will return a promise to us. So here we can use then method, and on this then we will get back our module. Well, our module itself. So you can use a module here or just pass an M, which is a usual thing in Angular. And once we have our module, we wish to use our M, well, our module with its own name, which is summary module. So let me clarify this here for you. Well, when we visit our summary page, so localhost 4200/summary, then we will go into our summary module and load everything from that module. So if I would go into this summary module, here I already have summary routing module here presented, well imported, which means that with it I will also load all of the routes. And by default, as this path is set to an empty, it will load summary page component, and that's pretty much it. So here we don't really wish to load specific component, but we wish to load the entire module, and that is how we are importing, well, using lazy loading, because we are loading the entire module itself. So all of the pages, images, data and everything else will be loaded when we visit that page, not when we visit just our localhost 4200. Can you believe that? Like, let's say that you have 10 different modules, and if you are not using lazy loading, well, your application needs to load 10 different modules when you just visit it, which is obviously not optimized, I would say. But when we are using this lazy loading to load a module and its own routes when we visit that specific route, then our application needs only to load the main module, and when we visit the specific route, it will load the route, well, the module for that route. So it is much more optimized. But now this is just the summary page. Let's copy this 2 more times, 1, 2, for our country page and also our live page. Obviously here we won't import the summary module, but we will import .country/country.module, and here we now cannot use summary module, we must use country module. And same goes for our live, so here ./live/live module, and here now use live module. Now just to quickly test this, and we will continue, here if I would use localhost/summary, well, I am going to that route, but there is no different content here, obviously. I will show you how can you do that soon. Obviously here, if I would go into my console, there is no errors. If I visit my live page, /live, again, no errors. If I visit my home page, whoop, there is an error. Our application doesn't know about home page, doesn't know about our home module, because we don't have one. So we are able only to route ourselves to those modules and to those routes that we have, which is good. Obviously, one more thing here. What when we visit just localhost 4200? There is no route for that. We have just summary, country and live routes. Well, truly, I don't wish to have that route at all. So what will I do here is I will create the redirection link here. To create the redirection link, redirection route, we will still work with the main routes here, but I will put that route as a first route here at the top. The path for my redirection will be just empty, so when I visit my localhost 4200, and here I'm able to pass a property called redirect to. What I wish to do here is to redirect myself to my summary page. So here I will need to use summary in my string. And one more thing that we need to pass here is path match, and I will set full here as a path match, which means that once my path is matched, well, once I visit my localhost 4200, then this redirection will work. To quickly check that, you can already see here that I'm already on my localhost 4200. If I remove this /summary and just use localhost, again, it will go to /summary because it will automatically now redirect me to my summary page, because my summary page is my main page of my application. But still, there is one thing missing here. That thing is, well, our dynamic content. We are always seeing this hello world here. I wish to show the content from my summary page when I visit my summary route. I wish to show the content from my country page when I visit country route, and same goes for the live route. To do that, that is quite easy. We can just visit our app.component.html file, and as we have our main container fluid here with this hello world, well, we can remove this hello world, and we will use element called the router outlet. This element here will tell Angular application that all of the routes that we wish to visit and their own pages should be rendered in this container fluid. Well, wherever we are using this router outlet. So to test that, you can now see that I am on my localhost 4200/summary, and I can see summary page works, which is that default text that was generated with the component. But for example, if I move this summary to live page, now I will see live page works, so it is dynamic content. And let's test also a country page as well. Country, here it is again, country page works. And that should be pretty much enough for this video. I think that this was also a longer video a bit. But obviously there is an issue here currently because we are always routing ourselves through this URL, which is not user friendly. So what we will do in the next video, we will make sure that by clicking on this summary by country and live, we will route ourselves to those routes. So let's do that.